Hiya John, great session yesterday. Just to recap on the work that we did. First of all, when we look at you from down the target line, posture is very good, as is your alignment. Make a nice takeaway. Nothing really untoward at that stage. However, when we get to the top of your backswing, we see that the club face is in an open position. So we're quite toe down with the driver, quite a lot of cupping in the right wrist. And you can see there that that club face angle doesn't match up with the left forearm as it should do. So the club face is in a little bit of an open position, which generally speaking with a lesser golfer would produce a slice to the left. In your case, what happens is if we take a little look at the footage on the top right, we can see that the grip is a little bit weak. V formed by thumb and index finger on the right hand pointing to the right of your chin, when it should actually be more like we're seeing here with Tiger, pointing just to the left of his chin. That in turn produces an open club face position at the top, which we discussed earlier, which then causes you to have to stop and flick as you're coming into it. So the problem comes as you unwind the body. If you continue to unwind the body as you're doing at that point, you're going to lose this shot way to the left. You're going to block it out to the left. So consequently, as a better player, you're going to try and make the ball go straight. Whenever you do that from an open club face position, that requires you to stop the body and throw the club head at the golf ball. So stop and flip. Stop and flip. And as we said, if we look at good golf swings, if we just look down here at Tiger and we flipped him into left-handed mode for you, from a really solid position at the top, what you're going to see is that body and arms work together. There's no stop and flip. Everything works through impact at the same rate. So what we're trying to do ultimately during your golf swing is simplify things to the point where all we're trying to do is synchronize the movement of the arms and the movement of the body. At this moment in time, what we've got, because of the weak grip, we've got a very active arm swing and a body action that's stopping as you're coming into the golf ball. Whenever you try and stop the body rotating, what you're going to end up doing is get a little bit of lateral movement in your knees. You can see there that that right knee just sags. That's your attempt at delaying the unwinding of the body to allow the club to catch up and square up through impact. So the way we're going to remedy this is we're going to try and get a much stronger right side at setup. It's actually orthodox, it feels very strong at the moment, but as you can see here on the bottom left, if we just take the setup position as would be appropriate, if we just had to hit it using the right hand only, we can see here now that that V is much more where it should be, pointing just to the left of your chin. Somewhere between your chin and your left shoulder is your checkpoint for where your V should be. As you then bring your left hand into play, the feeling should be that you're going to reach down, which you try to do there, but because of your old habit, that left side tends to dominate things. If we compare your setup position here and your angles with Tiger, you can see there that your shoulders are quite level and that your spine is quite upright. If you contrast that to what you see here with Tiger, much higher in the right side and a little bit more spine tilt, which is going to make sure that he comes into the golf ball a little bit more from the inside, but more importantly he can make a better turn both back and through. So that's the setup position looked at. In order to improve this move through impact, what I suggest you do is work with split hands using a mid-iron. Split-handed grip is going to accentuate any wrist movement you make through impact, so it's going to exaggerate that move there. As a better player, as I said, you're task driven, you're going to try and make the ball go straight. To try and make the ball go straight with a split-handed grip, you're going to have to engage the body more, you're going to have to quieten the arm swing down, so it's going to have a balancing effect. We've got to work on speeding the body up and getting the arms to just slow down a little bit. At the moment we've got, as we said, a slow body and quick arms through the hitting area. Like I said, great session. I'm sure you improved a lot as your work went on further down the range. If you need to speak more about it, just drop me an email or give me a call. Well done, and see you again in a few weeks' time.